What's up, all? This is episode 61 of Talk Wrestling here on the following pages. The best wrestling website in the entire world, NoDQ.com, pop-up free. MySpace.com/NoDQTalkWrestling. YouTube.com/NoDQCW. I believe it's on NoDQForums.com. I could be wrong. I don't know. I haven't posted it myself in a couple episodes, but I think the fans are picking it up. And now, of course, the newest one to pick it up, Twitter.com/NoDQ.com, as in Twitter.com/NoDQDOTCOM, where you can find exclusive news updates right there on Twitter from the man himself, the god of internet media, wrestling media. Oh, I almost blew it there. Wow. Aaron Rift himself is the man behind the magic. You saw the pictures on the MySpace page. The man behind the magic, the man behind the camera, although he's in the kitchen right now because the camera's steady and ready to tape. We are on today. Episode 61 is ready to go, and your questions are going to be answered right now. Alright, this one's a two-parter. I'm going to tie them in. It's from two different people. I'm going to tie them in together, though. The first part is on my Yahoo Mail. It comes from Yash... What the hell? Yash Sukadeli, I guess? I don't know. At hotmail.com. Yash Sukadeli. Hey Jeff, my name is Yash, and I've recently started watching your shows and really enjoy them. What I want to know is, do you think Edge will ever get a long title run? I think he deserves one, as he's the best heel they've got right now and has carried SmackDown since he debuted there in May 2007. The other part comes from Beanhead15P. Do you think Edge being a 9-time world champion in such a short period of time makes a mockery out of the championships? I learned a long time ago the whole Vince Russo philosophy. Titles are props. They don't mean the same thing they did back when Bruno Sammartino was the WWF champion. They don't mean the same thing back when Stone Cold was the WWF champion or when Hogan was WWF champion. They don't mean the same thing anymore. So making a mockery out of a wrestling championship, the whole business is a mockery of everything. It's sports entertainment. You're supposed to be entertained by it. It's not a sport. It is what it is. So Edge being 9-time world champion doesn't make a mockery out of anything, I don't believe. As far as Edge getting a long championship run, yeah, he keeps winning championships and then getting hurt or losing the championships after he wins them. He won and lost a world championship in the same night. He lost the WWE championship in the first match of No Way Out and won the world title in the last match of No Way Out this year. That's crazy. But again, they go back to the guys that are successes, the guys that make the money, the guys that are, you know, dominant people, and Edge is a great world champion. Edge, excuse me, is a great heel. He's awesome. There's nobody better as a heel on SmackDown than Edge is. Not Chris Jericho, not anybody. Edge is the best heel they have on SmackDown. The only reason he's not the best heel in the company right now is because Randy Orton is. And they're going to keep going back to him as long as he's a success. This is from Cameron Silva. I've been waiting to ask you this question for about a month now, but I knew that I had to wait until now, with the last month being WWE only month with WrestleMania and everything going on. Just wondering if you were able to catch Ring of Honor since they started being shown on HDNet. What do you think about the product they're producing on TV? Do you think they have what it takes to someday soon become known in the mainstream along with WWE and TNA? I heard a few people referring to the ROH HDNet deal kind of like ECW's TV deal back in the day, and that most of their big-name talents left the company by the time they got the TV deal. What is your opinion on that? And do you think we'll ever see a Ring of Honor section on NoDQ.com? P.S. Personally, I think Ring of Honor on HD is awesome, but I gotta say the women's division is the worst I've ever seen. It's down there with that horrible WoW company that was around for a while. I think it was around 2001, but at least in WoW, most of them are pretty good looking. Moving and grooving here. I'm talking to the computer. That's awesome. The camera's right here. I'm doing this. That's great. Good stuff. I have not seen Ring of Honor yet because HDNet, you have to pay for that, unfortunately. And at my house, we pay for only channels we want to see. So HDNet is not one of those channels. It comes up every once in a while. Bottom line, and same thing with Aaron here. When Aaron can watch HDNet, NoDQ.com will cover it. Time Warner, get on the ball. Give us HDNet for free. We need to cover Ring of Honor on this show. Damn it. What's wrong with you people at Time Warner Cable? No, I have seen some Ring of Honor stuff in the past. I've not seen Ring of Honor's recent stuff. But yeah, a lot of their big name talents are gone now. So we're seeing the same thing with HDW, where they finally got the TV deal and most of their guys were long gone. So it'll be interesting to see how Ring of Honor survives with the TV deal. Hopefully it won't weigh them down like TNN did ECW. I hope. Okay, this one's from Alex Zucker. I have a question I've been thinking about for a while now. What is your opinion on having a heel commentator like Don West, and what kind of impact does it have on the show? At this point in the wrestling industry, having a heel color commentator really, stands out. We had JBL there for the longest time being a heel on SmackDown with Michael Cole. They were the best announced team in the business at the time. JBL was the best color commentator and still is if he would ever come back. He's awesome. I think Don West is terrible. I've always thought Don West is terrible. He's an infomercial spouting piece of crap. And we learned in Florida what kind of person Mike Tenay is. So I don't think either one of them are worth the spit, to be perfectly honest with you. I think TNA would be better suited to get two different color commentators and play-by-play announcers, two different people behind the booth to call their matches. Because Mike Tenay is so boring, and Don West is so over-the-top obnoxious in his heel-ish tendencies. He's too fucking much. He tries to be such this bad guy and be main event mafia, Kurt Angle's the best, and what is Jeff Jarrett thinking, and oh my freaking god, and all that crap. And he's terrible. He's terrible. They should fire them both, honest to God. But if you have the right heel color man in the way, in the booth, then things can go very well for the announce team. Don West is a horrible example of that. JBL is a great example of that. Bobby Heenan, a great example of that. Mr. Perfect, a great example of that. Who else? Jerry Lawler when he was a heel, great example of that. All those guys. Taz when he was a heel briefly. Paul Heyman, a little over the top, but not as obnoxious as Don West by any means. Brian Culp, what is the most shocking thing you've ever seen in wrestling? Personally, mine is at WrestleMania 15 when The Undertaker hung the Big Boss Man from the Hell in the Cell. Also, do you know how they did that without seriously injuring the Big Boss Man? I don't know. But I do know he's dead now. Could that have something to do with it? Did The Undertaker, in fact, lead to the death of the Big Boss Man? No, he didn't. I'm just kidding. I don't know how they did that. It was very cool, a very cool sight. For me, the most shocking thing I've seen in wrestling was the... I had it and I lost it. Son of a bitch. The most shocking thing I've ever seen in wrestling was the many swantons of Jeff Hardy, the many dives of Jeff Hardy off of ladders onto people. The first time I ever saw him do that was live at WrestleMania back in 2000 when he did the swanton onto Bubba Ray Dudley, although he missed most of Bubba in the table. He landed ass first on the ground. Then he did it the year after that to Rhino and Spike, and then he did it to Edge at WrestleMania 23, 2 years ago now, when he dove through Edge and the ladder. Also, one of the more shocking, disturbing things, the angles I ever saw, although Vince McMahon gets off on it still because he's a creepy old bastard like that, is the Katie Vick situation. Oh, there we go. I feel better. Katie Vick. I don't know why. I don't know why they went there. I don't know why they chose to do that. But it made for a hell of a read in Kane's autobiography, Journey into Darkness. So, go figure. This is from a repeat customer. This is from Terrence Darnell West. What are your thoughts on the Legends Championship being converted or dropped in favor of an America's / United States / North American / Intercontinental Championship? No. The Legends Championship has a place. Booker T created it, and it's being defended regularly. And I don't think there's any reason to change it to a different name. I think it is what it is. I think it's a good, idea. I think it works. I think it works for what it works for. And to change it at this point would be silly. They've had North American Championships in the past. They've had Intercontinental Championships. They still do in WWE. There's no reason to change the name of the Legends Championship. It's perfect where it is. Let it be. Just let it go. This is from Adam K. Why does WWE refer to John Cena's finishing movers as the Attitude Adjustment and now just the STF? This is the last straw. WWE has taken everything the company once stood for and driven it right into the freaking ground. They take blood away from most matches, any revealing Divas matches, and now they're renaming finishers? I'm frankly surprised they can use the words crap, hell, and now ass is even bleeped out. Disney freaking Channel has more borderline content than pay-per-views. What the hell? It's true. Very true. When they renamed John Cena's finishing moves, I stopped watching. What a horrible thing to do. They named the finishers new names. Christians should be pissed off about that. They renamed the Unprettier the Kill Switch. Oh my God. The end of the wrestling world as we know it. Dude, it's just a finishing move. Seriously. It doesn't matter what it's called. It's the same thing. You really want to get into it. It's a fireman's carry slam. They should call it the FCS. And the STF has been around. Lou Thez used the STF before John Cena ever was born. It's always been an STF. They call it the STFU because it was cool. It was, you know, straight. It was, you know, not straight edge. It's CM Punk. It was on the edge. It was unique to call it a swear word. They're marketing toward families now. They're PG now. They can't be doing FUs and STFUs anymore. That's just not feasible for the market they're targeting. I'm sorry. And if you don't like it, if you're honestly that bothered by it, don't watch the shows. Really. If it's that bad, don't do it. But get over it. And I'm sorry if that alienates a lot of people out there. It pisses you people off out there. I know you guys like me a lot and I appreciate it. But if you're going to get that rubbed the wrong way about the FU and the STFU, then you need to jump off of Cena's nuts. Let's see. This one is from YouTube, right, Aaron? YouTube. Geek Squad 16. Why does Geek Squad sound familiar? I don't know. Hey Jeff, do you think we will ever see a Vickie Guerrero versus Mr. McMahon feud? No. See, that's why Geek Squad members don't appear on this show. Because Geek Squad members are stupid. They ask stupid questions and they do stupid things. Why would Vickie feud with Vince? Vince and his family have done nothing but be good to Vickie and give her a job when she has no business in the business. No business being in WWE at all. They felt sorry for her widow ass and gave her a job. Why would they feud her with Vince? That's so dumb. That's a horrible question. I'm sorry. That's the facepalm question. I'm bringing it back for this week. That's the facepalm question of the week. Son of a bitch. Andrew Lombardo, my biggest fan apparently. Would you rather be a main eventer in TNA or a mid-carder in WWE? This question came to me in my blog, and I'm just not sure, so I figured you could help me. It's a good question. I like that question a lot. I'd rather be a main eventer in TNA. And the reason for that is I could be close to my family more often than not during the week. I would get paid a little less, but enough to live off of. And I'd be a main eventer in the #2 wrestling company in the world. Regardless of what the No DQ forums say, that TNA is an indie fed, it's not an indie fed. It is a mainstream fed. You got people, celebrities from the mainstream appearing on TNA. You've got people that used to be in WWE appearing on TNA. They are a mainstream company. So I'd rather be a main eventer there and make the money that Angle makes, and that Bobby Lashley I'm sure is making, and that, you know, Sting makes and Mick Foley makes, than being on the road 250 days a year. This is from our buddy Chris Hardy, who has been a fan of the show and a friend of the show for a few years now. If you had to make the ultimate Money in the Bank ladder match of the best 8 wrestlers in ladder match history who are alive, who would you pick? And he gives his list. You can read it if you want to. Ask him yourself. MySpace.com/Chris Hardy photo. You can ask him yourself. Now, he didn't say just WWE, did he? No, he did not. So my picks are as follows. Jeff Hardy. Easily the most innovative ladder match wrestler in history. Evan Bourne. Watch his stuff in the indies. You'll see what his indie matches are like. Ladder matches. Edge. First ever Money in the Bank winner. 2-time Money in the Bank holder. Didn't win Money in the Bank the second time, though. So there you go. TLC matches with Edge. You know, the first ever tag team ladder match. He and Christian and the Hardys. He's awesome. RVD, Money in the Bank winner. And my personal favorite wrestler of all time. And a good friend of the show, as we know. Yes, he's more of my favorite than Hulk Hogan because he's a friend of the show. Yes, he's my favorite of all time, okay? Shelton Benjamin, the guy who is in every Money in the Bank and never seems to succeed. He always is close, but he always does one move that takes him out of the match, and that's it. But Shelton Benjamin deserves a spot in my match. And then 3 guys from TNA. The Amazing Red, who is back and would be a phenomenal ladder match wrestler. I think he's done ladder matches in the indie circuit. I'm not sure. Not sure. Frankie Kazarian, who has done very well in Ultimate X, which is a similar style to ladder match, and he'd be great in that. And the best wrestler in TNA, the most daredevil wrestler in TNA, not Suicide, AJ Styles. That's my picks, Chris. Thanks for your picks. What are your guys' picks out there? Let me know on the MySpace or the YouTube or the Twitter page or YouTube, Twitter, MySpace, NoDQ.com, NoDQ forums. If it's on there, feedback there too. Let's see here. This is from Undertaker9232 at AOL.com. Hey Jeff, why do you think WWE now has superstars who win another brand's world title, bring the world title to their brand, unlike a few years ago when the superstar went to the world title's brand? Okay. Basically what he's asking is, when Bobby Lashley was drafted to ECW 2 years ago, he was stripped of the ECW championship, was not allowed to bring it with him. The following year, however, Kane was ECW champion and was drafted to Raw, and the title went with him. Why did it not stay on ECW? Honestly, the reason they did that is because with Lashley, they wanted to have Chris Benoit, oh, I said the CB word, be the ECW World Champion, and they had to get it off of a face and put it onto a face, so they stripped him of the championship when he went to Raw. It was as simple as that. And since they've had a storyline for Kane to lose the title not too long after the draft, they had to keep the belt just for like, whoa, ECW has no belt. What the hell's going on? Oh my God. All they have is Matt Hardy, the U.S. champion. That's their top champion. It's all about intrigue. It's all about keeping you guys entertained. It's all about keeping me entertained. It's all about keeping Aaron entertained. It's about making the people just go, oh my God. They're going to keep the ECW championship on another company. They're going to keep the World and WWE titles on the same brand. Oh my God. It's crazy. Yeah. It's all about hooking. It's all about the hook. That's exactly what it comes down to. That's going to do it for this episode of Talk Wrestling. Thank you once again for watching out there in La La Land, wherever you may be. Next week is episode 62. More mailbag. I'm kind of done with the pay-per-view preview and results until like SummerSlam. I don't do the little mini pay-per-views. I did Lockdown, even though you guys didn't hear it on MySpace because it was bad. I did WrestleMania, but I'm not going to do a whole lot of pay-per-view stuff. And for NoDQ.com, for the Twitter page, at twitter.com/NoDQ, DOTCOM, MySpace.com/NoDQ Talk Wrestling, YouTube.com/NoDQCW, NoDQForums.com, NoDQ.com, completely pop-up free. I am Jeff Meacham, and you're not.